Oh, Steve and Larson! Don't you dare be sour. Clap for yourselves and feel the power. Yes. And all you people out there, you're watching Going In Raw with Steve and Larson.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Quick programming note, this Sunday, look forward to this. This is why you should be subbed to our YouTube channel, and make sure you sub to the podcast and audio apps. Dan Nerd Cubed, the original co-founder of Going In Raw with me and Larson. We sat down with him over digital Zoom because there's a whole ocean and a landform between us.
Yeah.
And we had a nice long talk. It's our little anniversary reunion. Hopefully we're going to get to do more of these because he is, not shockingly, back into wrestling, enjoying the AEW. So that's really cool. It was a fun time talking with Dan.
It was.
For some of you out there who don't know that we actually used to have a third. We had a third. There is a third founding member.
Third man, brother.
Mm-hmm. So that's a lot of fun.
Yes.
Also, quick reminder, if you want to help support Going In Raw, get the show ad-free, patreon.com/Steve and Larson. $5 a month gets you this show in the audio realm, ad-free, along with bonus content. You can just import your RSS feed right into whatever your podcast app is. I don't think it works for Spotify, so make sure your podcast app does actually accept external RSS imports. Make sure it could do that. Anyways, let's kick it off. Smackdown tonight featured the beginning of King of the Ring and the Queen's Crown tournament, the finals of which are going to be going down at Crown Jewel, a.k.a. here at Going In Raw. We refer to it Crown Royal. But right before we start rolling cameras, Larson, you said something pretty interesting. What are you thinking these days?
So I'll go back to, I think it was an interview Paul Heyman did, where he was talking about the story they got between Brock and Roman. And so, you know, like apart from the King of the Ring and Queen's Crown stuff happening, like we learned the brackets, we had some first round matches tonight. We had a promo bit with Roman where he pretty much told Heyman, you got to put whatever suspicions I have about you at ease and let me know that you have my back, you know? And during that, I got to think into that interview that Heyman did where he talked about the twists and turns of the story they have planned for this Lesnar Roman feud. On top of that, all the rumors of maybe this feud carrying on until WrestleMania. And I just asked you, what do you put Brock's chances of walking out of Crown Royal as Universal Champion? With all that in mind, because that's what put the question in my head.
Much like it was with Brock when he had the title, it was usually, I'll believe it when I see it.
Just in terms of the twists and turns, in terms of how they can motivate the story to go beyond Crown Royal if Roman is to win. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to require Heyman swerving Roman. It could be Roman expecting that to happen, not happening, and that leads to Brock somehow winning. I don't know how they orchestrate all that.
Brock, the Brock story is an interesting one because unlike what we've seen for the past, I guess, year now, it's not necessarily just lining up opponent after opponent for Roman to either squash, have a competitive match, or at WrestleMania stack. He has smashed lots of opponents along the way. Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar and their history obviously makes this a lot different. And Paul Heyman has even said people are not going to see the twists and turns coming, the phrase you just used. So everything up till now feels sort of par for the course. But given that Heyman has said to expect some, and I do feel that this might be, Paul Heyman might we always want, as if you're a creator, you'd like to aim for the great American novel, so to speak, your magnum opus, your one big piece. I always feel like Triple H had his with Ciampa versus Gargano.
Yeah.
And I know he wanted to replicate that probably at some point down the line. I thought that it was going to be like Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and then 2.0 came out. Maybe this is going to be that for Paul Heyman. And maybe at Crown Royal that'll happen. But I do feel like for it to be not grown-worthy, you would need some big story beat. Like, for example, hey, with the idea that Roman wasn't, this was reported by Meltzer, I think, ages ago. Roman's heel turn was not supposed to be that long, or his first title run back was not supposed to be that long.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe they replace Roman with Brock in that group. Maybe
That's
Brock, the
about a double
Usos,
turn.
and Heyman.
A double turn. Because I know the end game of all this Roman heel stuff is a huge face push for Roman.
Yeah.
You have Crown Jewel happen. You have a double turn there, or the beginnings of a double turn. I don't know. Just popped in my head. So
it would need. I don't think that I would put. I mean, if it were to happen right now, before you bringing this up, I probably would have been like, all my confidence points on Roman. It's like he's like the Deonna Purrazzo of WWE. It's like, okay, all my confidence points. So I don't know. It'll definitely, maybe it'll just keeping an eye on stuff. I mean, because I got that Super Smackdown next week with Brock on FS1.
Which
it's funny.
be SmackDown's go home for
Crown Royal, yeah.
For Crown Royal, yeah.
Wait, no.
Yeah, because
it
it's
will
Thursday
be. Yeah,
following.
It's Thursday following. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, definitely a possibility. I like it for a thumbnail and a title for this episode.
Sure.
So
I mean, the with King of the Ring kicking off, Queen's Crown kicking off, we finally got our brackets. And there's some interesting names in there. I guess we can just break them down right now. So we had SmackDown's 2 quarterfinal matches tonight for both King of the Ring and Queen's Crown. So the brackets are as follows. This is for King of the Ring. So we had Rey and Sami Zayn tonight, and we also had Cesaro and Finn tonight. That's on the SmackDown side. On the Raw side, we got Kofi versus Jinder, and then Xavier Woods versus Ricochet. So the prospect of getting a Kofi Kingston Xavier Woods match for the semifinals for the King of the Ring sounds great. There's a lot of good story potential there. Man. Will we actually see it? I don't know.
God, I really hope so. I think, it's scary. We mentioned this during the stream, in terms of having Jinder versus Xavier Woods, given that, Bruce Pritchard has said that, Vince McMahon doesn't like when you have, like he was referencing the Hardy brothers, the Hardy Boys. And he says, people don't want to see brothers fight. And, the New Day obviously refer to themselves as brothers. They consider themselves family. Maybe the line of thought, well, nobody wants to see that. Well, yeah, it's good drama. It's great drama right there.
I know.
Now, maybe that was in reference to a feud and not a simple match. But I think that, you milk that drama for all it's worth. As much as McMahon might be trying to bury at least the Queen's Crown with the matches tonight, like a minute apiece or 3 minutes apiece.
Yeah, they're super short.
Really short. I would hope that he'd want to mine it for all the drama it could have. In my opinion, right now, I see Finn Balor versus Xavier Woods in the final. And I see, unfortunately for Xavier Woods, I see Finn Balor, if Raw really considers him as big a deal as it was reported. Plus, you just saw, he had a whole video package in advance of his draft pick. I think that Finn's probably going to be coming out on top.
Here's one reason why I would pick Woods. You got to think who could pull off wearing the crown. Because if you win, you're probably going to have to wear the crown. I don't see Finn wearing the crown. Yeah. Like Xavier Woods can make it his own. He can make it fun and interesting,
Yeah, but he already calls himself the Prince. The next, then you get, when you rank up.
Yeah. You assume the throne. Yes, I get all that. But he doesn't wear a crown as a prince, That's my point.
Yeah, I think maybe if you want to make it a little cooler, you just have him don't do that, you know?
Yeah, he gets the crown and he like stomps on it or something. Says, I don't need a crown to be king.
Yeah,
I
he's
know.
like, where's my
something simple.
scepter? I'd prefer a scepter.
Well, Corbin had one of those when he was King of the Ring.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break here to get a word from our sponsor, Chime. So, Steve.
Yes.
I'm sure you know the feeling. It's the end of the month. Maybe you're a little tight on money, so you got to deal with the stress of your account balance running low. Then add on top of that the prospect of getting hit with that $33 overdraft fee if you happen to spend even just a little bit too much. It's really enough to pull the hair out of your head and just stress and anxiety.
Yeah, I know, man. Overdraft fees have gotten out of control. In 2019, traditional banks took in $11 billion in overdraft fees, but we're here to tell you that Chime does things differently.
Yeah, Chime is an award-winning app and debit card that has saved its members more than $10 billion in overdraft fees thanks to Spot Me fee-free overdraft. Eligible members can overdraft up to $200 on debit card purchases and cash withdrawals with absolutely no fees.
Now you deserve to have financial peace of mind. Join the millions of Americans already loving Chime. Sign up takes only 2 minutes and does not affect your credit score. Get started today at chime.com/raw. That's chime.com/raw.
Banking services provided by and debit card issued by Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank NA, members FDIC. Spot Me eligibility requirements apply. Overdraft only applies to debit card purchases and cash withdrawals. Limits start at $20 and may be increased up to $200 by Chime. Chime member overdraft fee savings based on eligible members' use of Spot Me versus $33 average overdraft fee. Overdraft fee data based on bank rate, checking account survey, CRL June 2020 overdraft fees report. For the Queen's Crown brackets, on the SmackDown side, we had Toni Storm and Zelina Vega, and then Liv Morgan and Carmella. Both those matches happened tonight, and neither went the way I thought they were going to go. And on the Raw side of the bracket, we have Doudrop versus Natalya, and Dana Brooke versus Shayna Baszler. Seems like, especially now with Liv Morgan losing to Carmella tonight, and if Finn is the favorite to win the King of the Ring, I would think the favorite for the Queen's Crown would have to be Shayna Baszler at this point.
Yeah, unless, because you're talking about because of the brand split thing, yeah.
Yes,
to keep both networks happy. That's definitely a possibility. I mean, if they care about that. I mean, I don't know. They probably would. I mean, it's all just a gimmick to get. Look, neither. Well, I guess Peacock gets the actual crowning of these people, but I don't know how much. Maybe they care. You never know what they care about, what they don't care about. I mean, yeah, you don't want to go to them and say, "Hey, you're having this this tournament. Do we get one of the winners?" Like, do you think anybody would say that? Do we get one of the winners? I mean, the Rumble, somebody pointed out that the Rumble had both SmackDown people, but you could always say, well, yeah, it's just a gimmick. You know, it's like, we're going to have a compelling story over on, I understand them wanting, I would understand them wanting certain roster members. I could see that being valuable, but do they really care if they get King of the Ring or Queen's Crown?
Because I feel like at this point, if not Shayna, then it's probably Carmella. They're the two favorites in my mind for the Queen's Crown. And I could, from a storyline perspective, I can see that, Carmella, she's the first Money in the Bank winner. They might want to give her this first honor as well, too. They could work it into her story right now. I could totally see that happening.
Her and Shayna are on opposite sides of the bracket. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes. Carmella's just got drafted to Raw, I believe, whereas Shayna is going to be on SmackDown.
My guess, Shayna makes quick work of Carmella, and Carmella does go through. That's my guess.
Wait, what?
Carmella gets to the finals, Shayna gets to the finals, and Shayna makes quick work of Carmella.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
I think that's probably the way it's going to go. Disappointing those matches tonight.
Yes.
Toni Storm, this is one of those things the more we talk about this stuff, the more we understand the creative process of WWE and how jacked up it is. It's like Toni Storm's her gimmick now is just hobby. I like music. I like rock music, but she referenced Madonna tonight. It was like
it was Madonna, it was Springsteen, and
Joan Jett.
Joan Jett, yes.
Which is they're all great names in their own right.
And then commentary said that she got a fondness for 80s music from her mother.
It's that same story they've told like 3 times now. And it tells you nothing about the character.
Nope.
It tells you, it's not even a gimmick. It's just like, oh, this is one thing she's interested in.
And then that's everything from in Vince's eyes. That's all he needs, in terms of a character. But as he said, it's barely a character.
Like at least with Dewdrop, they gave her a little bit of an arc when she came in. She wanted to get her foot in the door on Raw, so she allowed Eva Marie to treat her like an asshole. And then she got sick of it because she don't like being pushed around, and she, chumped out Eva Marie. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And now she is the person who does that seemingly for other people. She'd have for Dana Brooke. Hey, that's kind of a story right there. It's kind of a character arc. That's good stuff, I've even gotten used to the name Dewdrop, Tony needs something similar.
Yes.
She is a highly decorated, wrestler.
And they didn't do enough with her in NXT, but heel Tony in NXT was good.
She needs to be a heel. She needs granted, I have not seen much of her work when she was in Japan, but I saw little clips here and there, and like the charisma when she is kind of a tweener or a heel or whatever is awesome. It's great. But all this I like music, and I'm going to be the queen of rock. Oh, it boils it down to the worst. So until she finds an actual gimmick, or God forbid some character stuff, she's going to be taking loss after loss after loss.
Yep.
That's how it works.
Sadly. Yep.
Anyways, let's go ahead and dive right into it. Opened up with Bianca. This was kind of nice. It opened up with the participants of the contract signing already kind of out there. Becky had her own table,
but only one of them in the ring. Bianca was in the ring.
Bianca was she was making her way into the ring. Sasha was standing on the announce table, and Becky had her own contract signing table out there on the ramp. So Becky starts out talking to, as she says, Esther, Bianca. She says, "You're on a bit of a losing streak. Not a good look going into Crown Royal. And as for you, Sasha, you came back and attacked me from behind, and there's going to be payback." And Sasha says, "Oh, you're just jealous because my spotlight's bigger than the both of you combined." Bianca says, "The only conversation we should be having is about you two signing this contract. And you want to bring up SummerSlam, Becky? The only thing you did was get lucky. Every big moment this year had my name on it. That's why the both of you are coming for me. That's why I'm in the ring right now, and you are not. So get in here and sign this contract." So she's like yelling at him, "Come on, get in here, get in here." She throws a chair out of the ring towards Becky. And as she's jawing with Becky, Sasha attacks from behind. Becky attacks. They all just brawl and fight. And then they back themselves up into the corner. This was awesome. This was absolutely awesome. Bianca puts both of them on her shoulders in KOD position. And I don't know if she was supposed to, maybe they just realized that it would be impossible to perform a double KOD, but Sasha gets down, or she gets off, and then Bianca boots her while she still has Becky up in position onto the table, and then KOD's Becky stacking her on top of Sasha.
It was great.
Really impressive moment. I love this.
It was pretty great. It was pretty awesome. After that, we had Rey and Dominic Mysterio. They're backstage. Kayla Braxton walks up for an interview, and Rey says, other than being Universal Champion, being King of the Ring is the next best thing. It said it would make him sick if Sammy became king, and it's not going to happen. He tells Dom, "Hey, let's go out to the ring," and Dom's like, I'm good. I'm going to stay here.
Mm-hmm. He's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm staying here." They didn't have any audio on it, but Cole told us what he said.
Yeah. He had the script in front of him, so.
Yeah, exactly. So
that match was next.
Yeah, that match was next. Before Sammy went out there, though, he comes up to Dom in gorilla position and says, "Hey, man, good on you for staying back here. Good decision. I think you're ready to be your own man. And I'll be honest with you, I think you're better than your dad."
Yeah.
So we had that match. And apparently, according to Sami Zayn, this is a match that one of his personal dream matches in WWE. He says this is one of the last dream matches that I have in the company because he's going to AEW. And I do feel like, given how the finish was booked wonky, but I thought that they did a lot of very creative things in this match, and you could tell from Sammy's vantage point, like he really seemed to be into this stuff.
Yeah, this was a really fun match. It's some really great sequences they put together. Down the stretch, Ray goes for a springboard splash. Sammy ducks that. He's looking for a blue thunder bomb. Instead, Ray counters with a Hurricane Rana, sets Sammy up for a 619. Sammy evades that and then hits the blue thunder bomb. There's a couple sequences where it's just bang, bang, bang like that. Counters into moves. After that, blue thunder bomb. Sammy gets 2. He goes to the corner, rips off the turnbuckle cover. He puts Ray on the top rope, and then he sees Dom, who had already come like halfway through the match, to come down to ringside to check on his dad. Mm-hmm. So he gets on the apron. He's trying to put the cover back on. He's talking trash to Dom, turns around. Ray hits him with a seated senton, but rather than going for the pin, Ray goes over to Dom and tells him to get off the corner.
Terrible.
Just awful. So Sammy pushes Ray into Dom and then rolls up Ray to get the win. And then Sammy goes up on the stage. He puts on the cape. He puts on the crown. And he sits in the throne.
Works for Corbin.
Yeah.
He generally doesn't do the Saudi shows, though. So he's not going to win. Yeah, that's one of the tropes in pro wrestling that I'm so tired of, is like the asinine distraction on the ring apron. You know, like Dom is over there. It's like, as a competitor, like your eye needs to be on the action, on the match, on your opponent.
Well, especially with, Ray, that's your son up there. He's not up there to mess with you.
Yeah.
You see him up there. It's like, all right. And you just hit a move on Sammy that could potentially win you the match. Cover.
Yeah. I hate those.
Dom's not going to come in and break up the pin. He's not going to do that.
Those story beats feel so and like, it ain't limited to WWE. Every wrestling company does. It's a trope all over.
Yeah.
So I'm not picking on WWE, but like you do see it a lot in WWE. Especially, it's basically these Ray Dom matches. You see it every single time.
Something happens and it'll get Ray's attention. He goes and starts arguing with Dom, where it doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. After that, we had a Seth Rollins interview. He's asked, did you...
Oh, there's a Hit Row video package.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, coming soon, Hit Row.
Yes.
So that's...
So hopefully, it's, the episode after Crown Royal they'll be on.
That'd be nice.
So I wonder how, because... I understand it's possible they get roster members back in time for SmackDown, with Crown Royal being the day before, but at the same time, there might be opportunities for new draftees, obviously people who are on the card, to be featured a good amount on that SmackDown. I hope Hit Row gets that opportunity.
The plane might also have mechanical issues again, or hostage, or whatever it was. They might be taking a hostage again. What a weird situation that was. Anyways, we had a Seth Rollins interview. He says, bring over the 2.0 guys to SmackDown. We'll see how ready they are for network TV.
Braun Breaker wins the NXT title on SmackDown.
I don't give a shit.
You want a friend? Get a dog.
You want a friend? Get a dog. Seth Rollins asked, did you cross the line going into Edge's house like that? And he was like, all right, let's review the facts. He says, after SummerSlam, I was mocked and ridiculed, and through that, Madison Square Garden is able to beat him. Am I celebrated for that? No. I'm called a monster. I beat him with an actual wrestling move, and I'm demonized, but that's fine. The past few weeks, I've been the bigger man. We haven't heard a thing from Edge, so I told Edge I'm going to his house, and I went there to get an answer. So no, I haven't crossed any lines, and more importantly, I still haven't got an answer. Why am I even talking about this? You don't have the power to do anything, Kayla. So excuse me while I go find somebody that does.
Yes. Then we had Zelina Vega versus Toni Storm, a Queen's Crown first round match. We get promos from Zelina and Toni, pretty much saying, I'm going to win this tournament because of this. Mm-hmm. And when I win, I'm going to do this. Mm-hmm. That was essentially the formula. Their promos combined were probably longer than the match itself.
Yeah.
Zelina ends up reversing a gory bomb into a code red to get the win. Like, they really should have cut Happy Talk, because that whole segment was nothing.
It was nothing. Nothing at
absolutely
all.
Nothing. And then given more time for the two Queen's Crown first round matches, because they were both way too short.
It was nothing.
Way too short.
Yeah, absolutely. After that, Roman Reigns takes about 10 minutes to get into the ring. They could have cut some of his... I know the whole point is he's got a long entrance. He's if anything, he got...
SmackDown runs on Roman time. That's essentially what it is.
Exactly. So he comes out there. He's got his crew with him. He says, my special counsel had one job before tonight. Make sure the Usos were drafted to SmackDown, and that's what he did. So, San Jose, crowd was kind of quiet tonight, to be honest with you. He says,
"Oh, they were great in this segment. They were cheering for Roman.
Roman always gets a good response. But like, I just know I'm looking at this, thinking of the crowd. I'm like, there are other parts. I mean, maybe they just weren't given something great. I don't know. He says, San Jose, acknowledge him. He said, I love you, Paul. My cousins love you. You're part of our family. You're the wise man. I want you to be wise right now. Come clean. Tell the truth. Crowd starts chanting Suplex City. And he says, silly San Jose, Suplex City doesn't exist. This is the island of relevancy we're talking about here. Turns back to Paul, says, I want you to admit you're responsible for Brock Lesnar's free agency. Paul says, oh, my tribal chief, in a terrible situation. No matter what I say, it'll sound like I'm spinning things. And he's looking down. He's not giving him eye contact. And Roman takes his chin and he lifts it up. So those little details that are great. So that he looks him eye to eye. And he says, you chose me. Rescued me to be your counsel because you knew I am the wise man. I've been accused of many things in my life, and I'm guilty of even more. Boy, what a dark side on Paul Heyman. But I've never been accused of being stupid. And pulling the trigger now to depose the tribal chief would be stupid. Why would I do that? Wouldn't the smart thing to do be to counsel you in advance of Crown Jewel and then leak it to Brock? He said, otherwise it'd be stupid. You wouldn't choose a stupid man to counsel you. And then I got my DoorDash. So what happened after that? I watched it. I just didn't take notes because I was stuffing my face. Got you. That's when he's like, he says, don't tell me, tell Brock.
So he says, yeah, Brock can't stand about the conqueror will be conquered by Roman, and Roman cuts him off and says, don't tell it to me. Look at the camera and tell it to Brock. And the Heyman seems, a bit hesitant to do that. Roman says, don't worry, I'll protect you. And so Paul speaks right to the camera. He says, Brock, I got to give you a ton of credit. You outsmarted the wise man this time. But Brock knows what's going to happen at Crown Jewel. They discussed it years ago. Goes on and says, Brock has met his match, and his match's name is Roman Reigns. Roman will walk into Crown Jewel as tribal chief, and Brock will learn one thing. The winner is still reigning defending Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. And that's not a prediction. That is a spoiler, and Brock can believe that.
Ooh. After that,
what'd you get from DoorDash? What'd you have getting from DoorDash?
Gym Boys. We were talking about it so much the other day.
And?
Oh, man. It was fine. It was okay. I got a taco salad. Wasn't their best effort.
What were you expecting?
I should have got the tacos. The tacos are so good. They got the Parmesan on the shell. It's good. Parmesan's so good, man. I can't believe
it's not. It's disgusting.
It's so good, dude. It's so good.
Gross.
Anyways, was Seth going to Pierce and Sonya next?
Yes.
So Seth goes to Pierce and Sonya. He's asking them about Edge being there. And Pierce is like, Edge was scheduled to be here before you broke into his house. And he's like, well, I want my answer. And if I don't get it at the end of the night, it's going to be bad for you too. And by the way, if you run into him before I do, give him his picture back. And he's got a picture of him and Beth.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's great.
Then we got Carmella versus Liv Morgan. Carmella, before the match really began, went and got her mask put on. Early on, she locks on Code of Silence, and Liv goes after the mask, tries to pull it off. Carmella is more concerned about the mask, keeping the hold on, so she breaks the hold. Goes for a super kick. Liv catches that, hits Enziguri, Code Breaker, covers. Mella gets her foot on the bottom rope. Liv goes for her finish, misses. Carmella drapes Liv her throat across the top rope, and that hits the super kick for the win. I was pretty sure that Liv Morgan was going to win this match.
Didn't she win last week?
She beat Carmella the last 2 or 3 times, I feel like.
Yeah. I didn't really think about this match before. I was like, it could be either one. I kind of figured, I think when I saw that Shayna was going to be in it, did I even know it? Yeah, I don't even know.
They didn't release the brackets until the show tonight, I don't think.
Yeah, they didn't. I think in my head I was like, oh, Shayna's probably going to win this whole thing. Yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah. As much as I think it'd be cool for Liv Morgan to have won the entire thing, I don't know. Again, it's one of those things I'll see.
White Brownie said Carmella beat Liv last week. Okay. Oh, I didn't watch last week because I wasn't.
Watched last week.
I didn't watch last week. I was drinking wine.
No, there was no match. That's right. There was no match. They came to have a match. Carmella put on her mask, got in there, and then they started fighting. There was no bell, and then Carmella hit her with like her finisher, like the X Factor or whatever it is. And there was no match. Yeah.
Gotcha. But she had stand tall math essentially.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. After that, we got a Mace interview. He got drafted to SmackDown. Dijak staying on Raw. So apparently, based on this interview, Mace will be entering SmackDown's men's division as a singles competitor. He's asked about that. He's like, I'm not coming here to compete in the singles division. That implies that there's actual competition. He says, I look in the locker room and all I see is prey. I'm not coming to SmackDown to compete. I'm coming to annihilate.
Yeah, he should have said, I'm going to make everybody pray and fall. He should just do the other thing. He honestly, man, if this happens, if you like, I'm going to say this to the WWE wrestlers out there. If you're in a tag
team,
Steve.
Say it to camera then, Steve.
If you're in a tag team and you get split up by the draft, immediately come up with a new gimmick that you need to pitch. Like come up with like 5 new gimmicks, because being the same guy that you were in the tag team will get you nowhere whatsoever. So
correct.
Dio Madden, you need to like be what was he? He was like an anime fan or something before, wasn't he?
Yeah.
In NXT.
Yeah.
Be an anime aficionado, a real estate salesman, a car dealer guy, something.
Pick a vocation out of the phone book.
A vocation is better than a hobby. A motivational speaker.
Yeah.
Something. Army guy.
Like anything. But don't do what Happy Corbin is doing now, which is just being utterly and totally annoying. So that was next. Happy Talk is supposed to be with special guests. Street Profits didn't get that far. So Corbin intros the show, and now he's got Riddick Moss. They call him Madcap Moss. What an awful name.
Oh, it's terrible.
He hands him the mic and says, tell a joke. It's predictably awful. I don't remember what it is, but it was awful. I don't understand that's the point. It still sucked. So they're laughing about it. And Moss is doing the thing where he explained the punchline because it makes you laugh, but everybody's like, yeah, I get it. You have to, keep going on and on. Kevin Owens comes out. Riddick Moss goes down to try to intercept him on the floor. Of course, Owens beats the heck out of him, gets in the ring, starts going after Corbin. Moss gets back in. Kevin Owens about to stun him. Instead, Corbin hits Owens with the boot, and then he and Moss beat the heck out of Kevin Owens.
It's going to be one of those things where, like, in 2 months, 3 months, we're going to be like, man, remember what the shit they were feeding Kevin Steen before he left? It was because this is going to, by the way, this is going to be weeks, maybe months. Well, no, because he's going to Raw. He's going to Raw.
Yeah.
But they might, I don't know, what is something on the way out that he's going to be doing?
Well, he's going to be taking a loss to Corbin.
True, but once he gets to Raw, like his last 2 months, what are they going to look like? He should do with
Dijak.
Yeah, he should do the job for Dijak. But Dijak needs like a motivational speaker. I'd love to see him as a motivational speaker gimmick.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, hey, you want to get your life in order? Call Dominic.
Yeah, call Dom.
Call Dijak.
Yeah, probably Dijak.
Dijak.
Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, they had the contract signing in hand. Naomi walks in, and then she's asking, why wasn't I in the tournament? I should have been in the tournament. And Sonya says, you weren't in the tournament because you're not worthy. And then Naomi's like, I'm a former 2-time SmackDown Women's champ. And she asked Pierce, trade me back to Raw. And Sonya goes, no. I'm not done with you on SmackDown yet. You got a match next week against me. So we're getting Sonya back in the ring.
That's awesome. I was very excited. That was awesome. Yeah, that should be awesome to see Sonya back.
Yes.
After that, we had not our main event. Well, it was our main event match, I guess, huh? No. Was it?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes, it was the last match of the show.
Finn Balor versus Cesaro. They gave this match plenty of time. It was really good because these two are awesome wrestlers. Finn gets the win with the coup de grace. But still, it was really cool. After that, we had Becky backstage bitching to Sonya and Pierce, saying, y'all need to put some respect on my name. how did those other two earn their way into the match? I gave people the biggest match possible. Sonya's like, look, we all know how good you are. Now prove it. Just sign the contract. So Becky does. And then she like rams the contract into Adam Pearce's front area.
Yeah, she like threw it at him.
She threw it at his balls and dick.
Yeah, and then we got Seth Rollins promo to close the show. He comes to the ring, says, time has come. Been waiting all day. Been waiting for this moment for weeks. Been waiting for this his whole life for this moment. So Edge, come on out here and answer my challenge. He says, we don't have to have the match tonight. We can have any stipulation, ladder match, street fight, no DQ. We can even have the match in your living room. Come on. What happened to the Ultimate Opportunist? I know. I ended him with one stomp at Madison Square Garden. If Edge isn't going to show up and answer my challenge, I'm going to take it from Edge that Seth is not Edge-like, that Seth is better than Edge in every possible way, but Edge isn't just disappointing me, disappointing his fans, and more importantly, disappointing his family. Your kids are going to know that you're a coward. And then as he's going around down that line of thought, Edge shows up in an SUV on the Tron.
On this day.
He walks to the arena. Seth goes and grabs a chair. He's about to take a swing at Edge. Edge spears him, tackles him over the announce table, throws him into the ring steps, chokes him out with a headset, throws him back in the ring, grabs a chair, breaks off a chunk. He's about to put him in the deal. Seth escapes the deal by elbowing Edge in the neck. And then Edge gets the mic and says, I'll accept your challenge. Edge, Seth, Hell in a Cell.
This is, by the way, how Hell in a Cell should be. It should be, hey, this has reached new levels of violence. Let's bust out this special match as a surprise. Not, hey, it's March. Time for a whole pay-per-view full of Hell in a Cell. So I was cool with that when he said Hell in a Cell. I was like, oh, cool. Right on. That's neat. That's good.
Yeah. It should be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Should be a good match.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and answer some questions.
Let's do it.
I have a thread here on the Patreon at patreon.com/Stephen Larson. If you can't make the show live on Twitch, you can always hit us up on the Patreon. Leave us a question there. Alex Cerna says, he says, was Balor versus Cesaro the match of the night for y'all like it was for me, including Rampage? No, I'd say Punk versus Daniel Garcia was match.
Yeah, that was a really good match. That was a really good match.
Personally.
Specificity is dead. Going back to our reunion/anniversary show with Dan coming up on Sunday. Can you guys name one thing that happened on the first show you reviewed on Going in Raw? It was September 2014.
Well, we talked about
that pay-per-view.
Okay, so the first one we have on YouTube was the Fastlane one. Was that the first episode that we actually did in audio?
No, that's the first. No, the first we first started, we just did audio.
We just did audio.
Yes.
The very first episode of Going in Raw.
I will tell you the show was Night of Champions.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
2014.
Did we do new gimmicks for Roman Reigns yet?
I don't think so.
Was it Roman that we did that?
Yeah. So this was the card. The main event was Cena versus Brock. AJ Lee versus Nikki Bella and Paige. Randy Orton versus Chris Jericho. Rusev versus Mark Henry. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. Sheamus versus Cesaro. And Goldust and Stardust versus the Usos.
I would hate to go back and listen to that, to be honest with you. I have no idea what I said or what I sounded like. So, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see here. Dave Matushek, concerning the women's matches taking less than a combined 6 minutes earlier on SmackDown, what factors do you think contributed to the lack of screen time for the women? Vince McMahon poisoning the idea of doing a women's tournament. I think that he's like, oh, you know what? They keep on bugging about it. Let's just do it. It's a way for us to do a big, oh, look, we're doing women's stuff for Crown Royal. And then, but at the end of the day, he doesn't really care about it. So that's going to be the thing.
It's entirely possible. Entirely possible. White Brownie, let's say Sonya doesn't compete next week, but instead hires a heater for her. Who would be the heater?
Raquel Gonzalez. They kind of look similar anyways. Let's see here. Anthony R. What's Mace's ceiling? I don't still really know how well he can go in the ring. I think he's decent. I think he's decent enough.
He's a good talker.
He's got a great look, a great voice, good looking dude. I think it's really high if they could figure out a good character for him.
Exactly. Flash Rain, what are some feuds in the last couple of years that could have used the Hell in a Cell match, but obviously didn't, I guess?
Did they ever do Orton versus Hardy at Hell in a Cell when that was in one of the that was the pay-per-view one of the Hell in a Cells? Okay.
That was when Orton got like a screwdriver and put it in Jeff Hardy's
that
ear hole and
was
twisted it around.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a good match, too.
I know that was in the lead up to Hell in a Cell. I forgot it was actually Hell in a Cell. Because that was the time when they were doing like 3 different Hell in a Cell matches. Sasha. Oh, they already did that too.
Sheamus and Jeff Hardy. They did the barroom brawl instead.
That's good. Yeah. Do that one. Has Roman Brock ever actually been in? Roman Braun was in Hell in a Cell, and then
Roman and Brock had a cage match.
Yeah, Roman Brock.
Okay. Callie Jester, was there anyone you thought was going to be in King of the Ring Queen's Crown that wasn't? We both thought Mansoor was going to be in the King of the Ring tournament
and win it. If I saw his name, it'd be all the confidence points. They'll get a win. That tag team will get a win at Crown Royal. That's what's going to happen. Oh man, Alex. Oh, we did that one last week. Gregory Fiella. Who would you rather have change their theme back to their old one? Baron Corbin or Sheamus? Sheamus. Corbin's look. I don't like what he's doing now, but his theme fits him. It totally fits him.
Not as good as either of his 2 previous themes.
You're right about that. Wait, either of them.
So he had his NXT theme that he had when he got called up, and then they changed it.
How did that one go?
They didn't have any vocals.
I wonder if I'd remembered if I heard it.
Has that in there. He goes, kind of, it's somewhat similar to Dean Ambrose's theme, but way better.
Oh, okay. I'd probably remembered if I heard it.
Yeah, if you heard it, you remember it. White
I
Brownie.
love Lobster Head, though, man. I'd die for that back.
White Brownie says, if Finn and Woods happens at Crown Royal, should AJ and Amos help Finn win as a way to tease for a faction?
Oh, well, they've got a...
Sure.
Well, they're not on the same brand anymore. But yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, you can't do anything with it in terms of AJ and Amos.
But here's the thing, though. Big E is on Raw, and he could say, I saw what you did.
Hey, I saw what
to Woods. And then it's time to throw down.
Yeah, because AJ and Amos need to break up.
Yep.
And a feud between Big E and AJ would be great.
Dangam Q, did you guys see Seth's face when Hell in the Cell was announced? He was scared. Yeah, he was.
It was awesome. Let's see here. I don't know about that.
Turo says, will we get strobe lights for Sonya's entrance?
Hopefully
yes,
not. Given that she's now more of an administrator, I hope that her Tron is appropriate. It has like a bunch of paperwork and...
Oh, give me the strobe lights. That was great.
Like how the Street Profits have the solo cups come out. She has like a bunch of just like HR forms.
Paperwork. Yeah, paperwork.
Eddie Brock's Venom. I think Sheamus is one of the best runs he's in his career. Do we know if he's still working with that spinal or neck issue? I have no idea.
I don't know if you have spinal stenosis. I believe that's what he was diagnosed with. If that's something that goes away or if that's something you have to manage, I don't know. I don't know. Don't know. Jonathan, how is Xavier Woods going to win King of the Ring?
How?
It's possible. It's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible.
I wouldn't disqualify. I wouldn't be shocked if he won.
No.
But
not at all.
You know how they are. It's good heat. It's good heat or something. I mean, Finn is just a bigger deal. and like you want to really launch his Raw career off to a great start, that's how you do it.
Yeah. Joe Juarez says, I thought Sheamus's condition was chronic. Okay.
Mondo, since we know Sami Zayn isn't going to Saudi Arabia, that's basically a spoiler for his match against Finn, right? Should WWE avoid booking things that having knowledge of behind-the-scenes info spoils, or is that still on us as fans for reading behind-the-scenes stuff? It's on us as fans. The majority of the people, look, the 2.2 million people watch SmackDown, 1.8 million people watch Raw. The vast majority of those people, I personally do not think know about that stuff. I just don't. I think that,
Yeah.
I don't know what the number would be, but
It's a fraction of the viewership. I don't know what fraction per se, but it's a fraction.
I believe that. I believe it's a small amount. Yeah. I mean, not that many people on Twitter. There's like a couple thousand people on Twitter.
Just a few.
Couple, maybe 50,000 on Facebook altogether in
Something
total.
like that,
Yeah.
Not a whole lot,
Sonya
no.
says every one of them are sub to Fightful Select. Well, they're getting some great stuff over there.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's going to do it for us. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.